cut your tail while you're asleep. When you wake up the next morning, you went to bed since 8 o'clock. And you wake up at 5:36. And when you wake up as tired as a beanstalk. Why? Because all night you are in a battle. You are being tossed and torn and sifted like wheat. So that when you wake up the next morning, instead you wake up fully rested, you wake up fully beaten. Because all the covering was removed. You went to bed in anger. So the angels that have the responsibility to stand guard over us was unable to fight for us. That is why the Bible says, do not let the sun go down on your anger. When you wake up the next morning, you're more angry than when you went to bed. But you see, if you go to bed in forgiveness, you go to bed in peace with the Lord. Yes. The peace of God that surpasses all understanding. And you can wake up the next day and fight a good fight. Amen. 3 things happen when we run the race of endurance in faith. 1, true faith will show itself in God's works, especially towards the people of God. We will be blessed. According to Deuteronomy 28, 1 to 14. We will be blessed in every conceivable way. Everywhere we go, we will be blessed. Because the blessing of the Lord has gone before us. People will know that you are blessed. And they will call you blessed. They will not have to ask if you are blessed. You know why you are blessed? It's because the peace of God is shining upon you. You are blessed because you have decided to run the marathon. You are blessed because the Lord is at your side. Secondly, faith will show itself in good works, especially towards the people of God. Let me tell you something. When you're blessed and you have the faith, even self when you come to church and it's the last you get in your purse, you don't know where the next one coming from. You don't put it in the basket and know without a shadow of doubt that you're going to get. You see, the Lord said the cattle on 1,000 hills belongs to you. That is how wonderful and rich our Father. I have never read the Bible of the devil, so I don't know what it says. Excuse me. I can only tell you what the Holy Bible says. And I can put my neck on the block that it say we are blessed, and so be it. We are indeed blessed. Number 3, a true believer is desirous not only to be in covenant with God, but to be in communion with the people of God. You want to come to church all the time. You want to be in the house of the Lord, praising His holy name. You want to worship Him when you're high, when you're low, when you're up, when you're down. You want to worship Him when everybody else is worshiping something else. You want to dress to show yourself approved while others dress for something else. I don't know. You want to just be there worshiping the Lord. And you're saying like Joshua, as for me and my house, we will worship the Lord. We will serve the Lord until the end of our days. You want to see that the sanctuary is prepared for worship. You want to see your sanctuary look the best. You know, some of us, we are so meticulous. You have to excuse some of us when we come to church. And when we got to go and we got to examine things, fine. It's not that we're like ferrets, we sort out everything. But because we love the Lord so much, that we want to ensure that the Lord has nothing else but the best. So that is why we ensure that the tablecloth is intricately designed. We want to ensure that the backdrop looks good, that everything is prepared and clean, is spick and span. You know, that is why we believe that cleanliness is next to godliness. Sometimes even our home is not as clean as how we like to see the sanctuary. It's because of the love that has been shed abroad in our hearts. My brothers and sisters, run the race, endure to the end. You see, when we look at the marathon that will be coming up, if you notice, the only race that does not have heats, semi-final, quarter-final, three-quarter-final, but final is the marathon. Have you ever seen anyone enter into a quarter-final for a marathon? No. You practice for the marathon. And you run the marathon. And when you run the marathon, you ensure that you are fit as a fiddle, because you don't want to bow out after 20 miles. You don't want to bow out after 24 miles. As a matter of fact, you don't want to bow out after 26 miles. You want to endure until 26.2 miles. Run the race. Run it with your loins guarded with the belt of truth. Run it with the breastplate of righteousness upon your breast. Run it with your shoes, with your feet shod with the shoes of the gospel. Run it with the sword of the Spirit in your hands. Run it with the shield of faith that will ward off the darts that the enemy is sending towards you. Run it with the helmet of salvation upon your head, that nothing will make you change your mind. Your eyes will be affixed on the prize, the gold medal. You don't want a silver nor a bronze. Someone else can have it, but you want it. That is why the song that we have sung earlier, Roll, Jordan, Roll. I want to hear Jordan roll. Amen. You can only hear Jordan roll when you run the race to its completion. My brothers and sisters, the Olympics is happening in Brazil, yes, but we each must run our own Olympics. We each must run our own marathon. Our life is like an Olympics. There is a competition. The competition is not from God, but from the enemy.